Hey guys, welcome back again to Whiskey Blooded. My name is Dave and thanks for joining me here today. As we start off this video, I just want to say thanks to you guys. I just noticed on the channel last night that our Whiskey Blooded YouTube channel has reached over 10,000 total views. Thank you for all of that. That's insane. I never thought anyone would actually watch me sit here and ramble on for 10 minutes a week about whiskey. But thank you guys. We have 194 subscribers. We're going to push for that 200 mark, and I guarantee we'll be there next week. As the channel continues to grow and whiskey continues to evolve, hopefully we can get into some more rare things and some more things that you guys are really looking forward to having me review for you. As my collection grows, so will these reviews, and so will all of our knowledge and our tastes in whiskey. So thank you so much. Quick shout out to you guys. Keep tuning into the channel. I really appreciate that. This is just for fun for me, so to get some kind of milestone hit for me is pretty cool. So 10,000 is a lot of views. Thank you very much. So today we're doing a viewer request of Wathen's. This is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. This is distilled at the Charles Medley Distillery, bottled at the Charles Medley Distillery, but distilled in Kentucky. This is, if you saw one of my very first reviews, this is a bottle that, it's a very popular bottle, but it's also produced by the same people that made the Old Medley 12-year-old that I reviewed as one of my first videos. So I've had this and that bottle in my collection for a while. So this is Wathen's. This is a no age statement 94 proof Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. It is bottled, like I said, 94 proof, which puts it at 47%. And it's hand-selected by Charles Medley, as all theirs are. It's a single barrel. This was bottled in May of 2014, barrel number 5614 by Charles Medley. The bottle is identical to the, I'm looking at it over here, I'm going to revisit it, but identical to the 12-year-old, which I'm actually going to do this review and then just do a quick retasting of the 12-year-old. Not a review, but just a quick comparison between this and the 12-year-old. So let's start with this though, and let's do the full review on this one. So this is Wathen's Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Let's give it a pour. So here we go with the Wathen's. So there's no age statement on this one. I've only had this for about a year. I don't know if they used to put age statements on it or not. But we'll give you an idea of, or I'll give you an idea of what the projected statement would be based on taste. So here's this stuff. It's a neat bottle. I think I paid $40 for this, $35 or $40 if I remember. It's been a while. The color on this one, I'm kind of far away today. Let me get this closer for you guys. There's the color. It's more of like a rosy, like copper, I guess more copper, than rosy. So it's almost spot on with copper. So it's a decent color. Now it's fairly dark. And it's been a year since I've tasted this, so I'm truly I didn't bring my notes out today. I'm just going off of what I get right now. A little too deep on that one. Got a little bit from the backsplash there. This has got a pretty classic bourbon smell. It's got the floral notes, a tiny bit of oak, some toasty, cinnamony notes on it. Just pretty classic. I would say a little bit of nutmeg in there maybe is something a little different, but pretty classic bourbon nose. Let's give it a try here. For 94 proof, this goes down pretty well. Let's do one more try here before I give you my tasting notes. So right up front, there's a tiny little burst of honey, followed by some of those floral dried fruit notes. And as it opens up just a little bit, it's got a little bit of cinnamon, a tiny bit of mint, some of that nutmeg that I had mentioned, and then a fairly short finish. Doesn't linger much, Not a lot of burn, not a lot of oak, not a lot of leather, not a lot of those things that come when they toast or char a barrel. When they're charring it, the deeper they go in the char, the more woody it's going to taste normally. And this definitely doesn't have that. This is more of that toasted oak, that toasted barrel that's going to give you those sweeter flavors. That's why you get that big taste of honey up front. So this is definitely on the lighter side of the palate, but still very, very good, very classic bourbon taste without all of that oaky, earthy bite that comes from a deep char. So I haven't scored this one yet. I'm going to score it right now. I'm going to give this one, let's write it down here, for the price, the way the bottle looks, for what I think about it, availability, taste, obviously, but mainly going on taste and price here. I'm going to give this one an 88 out of 100. So an 88 out of 100 for the Wathen's Kentucky Straight Bourbon. And like I said, this one is a single barrel. Just want to make sure. This one is a single barrel. So 88 out of 100. Now, just as a quick, all right, we're doing good on time. Just as a quick comparison, I'm not re-reviewing it. Let's bring back out the old, not a lot of room left here. Let's move this right over here. Let's bring back out this guy. One of my first reviews, the Old Medley 12-year-old. Now, I've been drinking whiskey for a lot longer. Well, I've been drinking it for a couple of years, but reviewing whiskey for a lot longer now. I'm actually excited to see if anything changes on my end when I dive back into this. So let me clear my palate real quick. Same distiller with an age statement. So we're at 12 years old, 86 proof. And I don't believe this one is a sour mash. This is a sour mash. 86 proof, Kentucky Straight Bourbon, 12 years old. This ran me $50, I think. So a little bit more, and that's still a pretty good price for a 12-year-old. Let's revisit this one and see how they compare. Because these are their two big products. So these are the two that you're likely going to run into out there. And if you want to know which to buy, I'll give you an idea. Now, I remember when I reviewed this bottle last. Now it's been sitting for probably almost a year. I remember when I reviewed this one last, it had a lot of peanutty notes, a lot of oaky, barrely tasting notes. Let's see here. This one's actually almost lighter in color than I remember. And when I smell this one, there's a noticeable difference with that, probably the age. I never put an age on this. The Wathens I would probably put between 6 and 8 years. I would say probably 6 years is pretty accurate. This is a 12-year-old, so it's double the age from what I can smell and taste. But it's definitely got more of the woody, peanut, oaky notes. So let's give this a try. Yeah, so with the Wathens, the honey turns into more of a butterscotch, which is probably a result of that longer aging process. And maybe a little bit more on the char. The more of a butterscotch up front, which is then hit with some of those more earthy notes like pecans, like peanuts, like a little bit of the darker fruits, which once again is just going to be part of that age process and the mash that they're using, obviously, and the mash bill that they're using to distill this. Maybe a little bit less on the rye mash bill with this one. I taste less of the fruity, more of the oak, more of the barrel, more of the just straight corn notes. So very good. To be honest with you guys, there's no clear winner between these two. With the price points between them, they're both well priced. They're both very good. Fairly similar in the fact that neither of them have any really standout crazy, taste to them. They're probably, I should start looking at mash bills for you guys, but they're probably very similar mash bills. With this one maybe being a little bit less on that rye side. So there's no clear winner. I think I had the Old Medley reviewed a little bit lower, but I actually like it now more that it sat for a little bit longer. I would say either of these are great bottles to pick up. They're not the best bottle out there. They're very smooth, very simplistic, very much bourbon products. and they taste that way. They're not trying to do anything crazy. This is just good quality bourbon distilling, and it's nothing that's going to knock your socks off, but it's also nothing you're going to regret buying. So I hope this review is useful for you guys. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next week. I have a couple of I got a bottle of High West Midwinter's Night Dram, and it's a fairly rare bottle to find. I really want to open it up and review for you guys, but I also really want to save it for years to come as it becomes rarer. So I'm thinking about if I decide to crack into that one or not, but if not, I've got a couple new bottles that I think you guys will really like, and I'm trying to decide which ones I want to do. So I'll keep an eye out for you guys as to new things coming on the market or new releases that you guys might like for me to review. So once again, guys, thanks for joining me today at Whiskey Blooded. It's been such a pleasure doing videos for you, and you'll be seeing them every week.